Okay, this is what we mean by cultural diffusion. If you look at the house, these are the house of Peranakan in Malaysia. Peranakans are people of descendants of Chinese who came during the 17th century. And because during those times, only men could come, it wasn't convenient to travel. They traveled by ships to come to work as laborers in the mines, in the fields, in the rubber estate. And these men, because it was hard for them to go back to China to find them a wife, they married local ladies, Malay ladies, and their descendants are called Peranakans. And this is their house, as you can see. Because Malaysia or Malaya back then was governed by the Portuguese and the Dutch. If you see the house in here, it has Dutch influence. And the house of a Chinese person, the architecture is Dutch, but they hang lanterns, Chinese lanterns, and they have Chinese characters on their doors. So this is a manifestation of cultural diffusion. This, the dining table of Peranakans, is another manifestation of cultural diffusion. It has Western influence, and if you look at this thing towards the end, it has Chinese influence. It looks like a sliding door. It can use this sliding door thing is a Chinese tradition. Chinese use them to compartmentalize areas in their house, to separate a certain area into two different areas, two different rooms for two different purposes. So this is another manifestation of cultural diffusion. On the picture on the right, you see the house of Peranakans or Chinese living in Malaysia centuries ago. On top of the house, it has Hindu Thai influence and it has Chinese characters. Once again, this is a manifestation of cultural diffusion. Another manifestation of cultural diffusion in here. It has Western influence, it has Chinese character to symbolize that this is a Chinese home. And the ceiling, the decorations has Western influence because Malaysia was governed by the British and prior to that by Dutch. So another manifestation of cultural diffusion. If you look at this, the living area in a Chinese home, the furnitures are antique Chinese furnitures. And there's a rug. It symbolizes Western culture. As you can see, this is another manifestation of cultural diffusion.